I think your decision to be here today, attending this conference, is already one step towards making this world a better place. So I hope that there is a lot that you can take with you home, and I think everyone has the ability to change the environment, change the community, and take their responsibilities. Yeah. So our speakers, students and teachers are already ready here in front of us. And yeah, we would like to start with our first speech. It will be given by by 3 high school students, one of the youngest speakers from today. The topic will be education, current situation in the world, Europe and Slovakia, and also about UN Sustainable Development Goals number 4. So we have Veronika Vanova, Maria Kapkova, and Dominik Dovcik. An applause for them.
Thank you. So, good afternoon, everyone. I hope you're all doing well. We are really grateful to be here today, and today we'd like to talk about SDG 4, quality education. And why is this topic so important? Because education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. For just some quick context, quality education is one of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals, also known as SDGs. These goals were set by the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, which was adopted by all UN member states in 2015. It's a global call for action by all countries, both developed and developing, to work together towards a better future. This agenda comprises of 5 main pillars. It's built on top of these, and they are often called the 5 Ps. People, planet, peace, prosperity, and partnership. This agenda works in around 3 main dimensions, which are environmental, economic, and social. And the SDG 4 itself works in these dimensions. Accessibility. Unfortunately, many students don't have access to education. They face major barriers. For example, some may live too far from the nearest school, or some have to leave school early in order to work to help their parents. Accessibility, and we also have inclusivity and equity. Education should be available for all, but unfortunately there are millions excluded due to their sex, age, religion, ethnicity, or disability. Marginalized groups are too often denied the right to education. And we also can forget about quality. It's nice having access to education, but the education system itself needs to be of adequate quality. The SDG 4 comprises a total of 10 targets. It really focuses on lifelong learning, ensuring free pre-primary, primary, and secondary education. This also involves helping youth and adults reach literacy and numeracy. Gender equality is another central topic. Both women and men, girls and boys should all enjoy equal opportunity at education with equal benefits on equal levels. It's also important to develop vocational and technical skills, as well as some non-work specific ones. It's also really important to educate people about climate change, gender equality, poverty, which are all linked to other SDGs. Because in return, this education will help improve and work with these goals. It's also important to better school facilities, provide scholarships and support teachers, because at the end of the day, teachers are at the heart of it all.
Dominik, pači. So now we can take a look at I apologize, I completely forgot. Okay, so now we can take a look at how the world is doing regarding education and the whole SDG 4. So globally, primary and secondary school completion rates are rising, but the pace is slow and uneven. Around 251 million children and youth are still out of school worldwide, and despite some progress, there are huge regional differences. There is also a very noticeable gender gap when it comes to education and literacy. Men's literacy rates have been and still are much higher than women's. Now, fortunately, this gap is slowly closing, but we still have a long way to go. Another setback to mention is COVID-19, a pandemic which caused learning losses in 4 out of 5 countries. All right, so this map can show us regional differences when it comes to education. So Europe, North America, North Asia, and Australia are in the green and are doing well. However, parts of the world like South Asia, Latin America, and Central America are doing considerably worse. And probably the worst off is Africa. So while making this presentation, I came across this quote, which I feel like really sends the message across. Until we get equality in education, we won't have an equal society. So. Now we can move on to current situation in Europe. Overall, Europe has one of the highest levels of education attainment and has many great schools and prestigious universities. The literacy rate in Europe is around 99%, and so far we are doing great regarding gender parity as well. Around 43% of young adults had attained higher education in the year 2023, and we are trying to increase that number to 45% by 2030. The European Union is also working to improve digital skills among its citizens and to promote adult learning so everyone can have relevant skills and be employed or find a job. Okay. Next up is Slovakia, which has a literacy rate around 99%. In the past decade, we have greatly improved our tertiary education attainment percentage, but it is still below European average, standing at 39%. But you can really see that around 10 years ago, it was only 26%, so that's amazing. And more women have been attaining higher education than men, so that's a really interesting trend. But there are also some troubles and challenges in Slovak educational system. So, for example, teachers are not supported enough. Many of our student textbooks are a bit outdated and not very current. And our universities lack quality and global relevance compared to, for example, Czech universities. And many of our talented Slovak students leave and study abroad, and unfortunately, many of them don't come back. There are also some educational inequalities when it comes to minorities, mainly the Roma people. But despite these challenges, Slovak students remain hardworking and participate in all kinds of international competitions. The most current example is a 19-year-old student, Adam Kovalchik, who became an absolute winner of the Reganon International Science and Engineering Fair in 2025. So he developed an antiviral drug and also got an award. And another student, another Slovak student, Anna Podmanická, she won the 4th place in environmental engineering category in the same competition. Slovak students also score on European level, for example, in the Middle European Mathematical Olympiad, in the European Statistics Competition, and in the European Physics Olympiad, where I think this year Marian Koval won the 1st place. So even though we complain a lot about our educational system, it definitely is not the worst.
We also know that not everyone is so lucky to have the opportunity to study. I have few examples all over the world, so we can check it here. So, for example, Kenya was engaged only at 5. She was forced to undergo the FGM, and after she negotiated with her parents that she can keep studying until she gets married. And after that, a miracle happened. Her village collected money so she could go to a university in USA. After that, she got a scholarship to this university in Virginia. She got her doctorate in education in 2011. And she also created Kenya's Dream organization, which helps girls all over the world to study and also to prevent situations like this. Another really interesting story is story of Sonita. She was then, when her family tried to sell her to a man who wanted to marry her, then they became refugees, and one organization helped them. She really found the passion in art and music and also in writing. And after her birthday, 16th birthday, her parents tried to sell her again, and as a protest, she wrote a rap song. That's a really interesting way, but this rap song got 1.6 million of views on YouTube, and many organizations and people noticed her. So she got to America, to Utah, and now she helps all the girls and boys in this situation. She got in a 2020 Forbes 30 under 30 Asian list, so she is now really successful. And the last one, but of course not least, is Mohammed. He came from Libya to United States in 1997 with his wife. They fostered many kids before, but after that his wife died, and he decided that he will do a foster parent to disabled kids in the America. He fostered around 80 children, and all of that were with disability, unable to study and to get a quality education. So he tried to give this education to them. He became a teacher of all of his children, and he believes that every child should have a quality education, no matter their disability or their family status. We have a few suggestions how to help with this SDG as individuals. So you can donate books and supplies to your local schools. Also, you can support severe education-focused NGOs. There's a lot of them. You can probably choose in your country or your city. And also you can create or support online courses, which is now really used method of teaching young students or also the adults. These are all our sources, and we thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much. can really see they actually they're 16, 17-year-old, right? Giving a presentation here now, and they actually are quite ambitious too, having participated in different competitions themselves, individually but also together. They have been participating in the European Statistics Competition, the IQ Olympics, but also being part of the Youth Change-Making Forum. So one more applause to them and their ambition and their effort and investment. I myself have to say also I am very grateful, I'm lucky. I'm from Vienna, Austria, and all know education is free for us. Thinking about people who cannot afford education and us being able to go to school, receive education for free, we really can be grateful for that. I think most of us here have visited school, and sometimes we don't think about it, we're not aware of it, how lucky we are. So those moments like now really remind us that we can be grateful for our circumstances. So now our second speaker will be Monisa Hassan. She's a medical doctor, but also studied political science, German studies, law, and political science. She has been active in many fields, but also she lives now in Germany. Sometimes she spends 2 to 3 months in Kabul, her homeland, where she invests and supports group of widows with their children in various ways. She provides things for their everyday life. She provides donations and that they can visit schools. And also she even made it possible for there to be a well duck, right? And yes, we are very happy that we can hear from her now about the topic education in Afghanistan. Please welcome her with a big applause.
Hallo, einen wunderschönen guten Tag. Happy day with you. Assalamu alaikum. So, first of all, allow me please that I convey the warmest greeting, lovely greeting from Afghan women and girls, die noch nicht 1 week old is from last Saturday who fly from Kabul to Germany. And they send to all of you love and hello and also everything to all of you. So, okay. First of all, I am very happy to be here. Thank you, lovely Renata, and all of Women Federation of World Peace International member of all road, that they gave me the opportunity to be present here. And when I am in Germany, I try to attend in any session, in any conference, in any things of this Women's Federation for World Peace International. So it is a great opportunity. Previously, I apologize me for my English if it's a little not good. But I try to speak that we all can understand. Because switch off of 3 languages, Dari, Pashto, German, suddenly of English, cost a little mine. No. So, by the way, first of all, before I explain about the picture which I bring from Afghanistan, would you brief about the Afghanistan education quality? Previously, Afghanistan has a brilliant system for Afghanistan situation. 6-year elementary school, previous kindergarten, and also Kita gave also in big cities. And after that, middle school section first from 7 to 9. And after that, second period or the step for middle school from 9 to 12. And after that, the students have to participate or the pass and concours exam for entrance at the universities. And it was also that time a little a problem that more than 100,000 students gave or wants to or paid the concours exam, but 20,000 can attend at the university. That was also serious that time. But we were lucky that time. And it was also diverse high school. Amani High School from German. They teach after 5 class in Germany. And the elite students that or can come to Germany or becomes a German scholarship study. And also French high school, Istiqlal, they become also award, and the elite students become a scholarship at the French for a study at the French. The most of schools in Afghanistan studied as foreign language English, where were from Britannian teachers, from American teachers, from North Ireland teachers, from anywhere, they were present. And we had the best students, which most of them are present in all of the world, from United States, in Britannia, and also in Österreich, in German, anywhere. But you know, unfortunately, till after 15th August 2021, we have a disaster in our land, which I don't take position related to the political issues, because I want to go back once again to Afghanistan and do my job, so that I don't get deep in these issues. And you know, that's our land now. Since 15 August 2021, I called a person with half face. A person with half face. While the other do the 50% the face is hide the woman presence. So it is really, really, really serious. Because I work with them, which Ms. Renata is in direct picture, that during 1 year, I tried to go 4 times at least to Afghanistan. And nobody helped me. Everybody knows it is just my own initiative that I go to diverse provinces with many risks, but I continues. That is my job, what I, for my girls and women in Afghanistan, can. So, last time I was in East Afghanistan, Jalalabad. I visit the medals investment that they worked for the women as psychosocial counselor, as awareness people regarding health issues, family planning, and others. I visit other girls in Jaghuri province. Jaghuri is a small district from Ghazni province in South Afghanistan. A place, a district that always the under 20 best students who take the entrance at the university, special medicine, special engineering, law, and other, 10 of them were from this district. So, they are forbanned. The most of them were girls who are set now at the 4 wall at the Vonu with depression, with hopeless, just when crying. So, and they asked me, and as I asked him, what is peace? They told to me, peace? Huh? Peace is for me a piece of bread. Peace is for me a cloth that I wear can. Peace is for me a shelf under that I can live. Peace for me is security. So, and the other says this, do you know, Dr. Monisa, what is freedom? I said, yeah, that you free speaking can, that you free anywhere moving can. I said this, what is freedom? Freedom for me is attending at school, but I can't. Freedom for me is that I wear anything that I want, but I can't. Freedom is for me that I not must to marry a person who doesn't want it. What you mind? What bring me this freedom? What bring me this peace? What bring me this international commission relating United Nations in anything? They just come into us and have a look of us that they take it. Another phase of human rights and anything that they know. And the other told me the last Friday that, Dr. Monisa, can I ask you? Yeah, tell me. When you left Kabul International Airport and came in Dubai, Dubai is also an Arabic land, but so when you come there, please make a deep breathing. Why? That you bring our message to other world that we want free breathing. And then the second stop, bring another deep breathing in Düsseldorf airport. Guns, great, large. Why? That we want to for life breathing. We can't breathe. We are just a prisoner in a prison that hides Afghanistan. That was their wish that they told me to bring to you, convey to you. It is so feel. How can I tell you that what I saw during this 10 weeks in Afghanistan? Forced marriage, child marriage, misuse, abuse, anything what you about thinking can. But nobody heard them. Nobody do anything for them. Even when the foreigner coming and visiting the high representative from Afghanistan, don't think about it. That is reality in Afghanistan. You know how lucky you are that you attend at the school. That is the biggest wish. The Machen who since 4 years can't attend at the school. It is a great luckiness that you can go to the university. It is a great wish. The doctoranden, the studenten, they are not allowed to entrance the university. So that is the message that they told me that I bring this to you. And now it is so feel. Just I want to saw the pictures. Would you help me, please? That's so. Started from here. This is started from here. So that is the picture from Bamiyan, Bamiyan province, central Afghanistan. The ladies heißt Hanifa Jan, and das sind die elementary school childs. You know, that is, they are in summer mit dem Sandal, but overall is stoned. But they have to run with them because they don't have another to wear it. These are also there. What they want from me, give me a little pencil and also some things, notebook and other to write. That and also some school box for me. That was their wish. Go ahead, please. I visit in Bamiyan the Woman Bazaar. Das sind die Women, die dort also arbeiten und nähen und auch sold their clothes which they produced. They told to us that we don't have anything. We need the material. We need the support from other women. Please help us. Their video is by me. I show the Miss Renata. If you want it, I can give it to you. Please, the others. So, this is also Bamiyan. 25 medals, girls. These are from 15 till 28 years. They are the girls who can't attend more at the school from 6th class. On the other one, they waited of the university that they can't attend, they can't go there. And their message was what we can do. And the mutas told to me, oh God, previous we says that our girl is not ready to marriage because she must continue their study. And they told to me that, Dr. Monisa, now is no studies opportunity and also no the woman. So, please the others. Das ist Afghanistan, beautiful Afghanistan, Bande Amir, Trinkwasser, wo die Woman ist verbannt, das zu gucken, but the foreigner are allowed to come there. The others, please. So, das ist interessant wird. Das ist Hernesa und das ist ein Haus ist in Höhle des Mountain. Das ist not normal house. In Höhle des Mountain. Sie hat zwei Mädchen, zwei Girls und zwei Boys, and they sit at home after 6 o'clock, and she is at 4th class. The woman Hernesa asked me if I can take this 10 years ladies. And they told me perhaps they become enough food, they can continue her school, and they become a better future as they will too. So the others, that is the others. 25 girls in Jahuri in Ghazni. They had no hope. They're just sitting, look at with dark clothes. They asked me this, please, to do for us anything that we should continue our school, our university, and do it some things that either we would begin suicide or we become crazy, to depression and other things. The last one, please. So, great Buddha status in Bamiyan, 2002, you know, near from the 9/11, and then they were also exploded, and the gate, the women don't allow that to attend, but the foreigner can have a look. das ist Afghanistan, Ostafghanistan, Nangarhar, und auch the river von Kama. You can come also here and look at this, how beautiful is Afghanistan. Last one. Ist das schon alles? So, that is also the ladies in Nangarhar. That is also the ladies in Yakaulang, Bamiyan. Das war 13. Hören Sie noch? Ja, das ist der junge Mann in Afghanistan for cultural. They helped the girls underground to work. 3 months, the girls didn't become their salary. They give from own pocket the salary from them. So gives also. And that is the symbol that I say, no war, no weapon, just for peace. That was us. We prayed again, Darfur. So that is what Afghanistan in momentan, and I would keep you also Dominik in the future when I go there. On what I want to say to you, this is also Afghan woman waving side at the moment. So that is also Afghan woman embroidery, just over 70 years old. So just with them, I want to say that Afghan women need your support. Afghan woman has talent. Afghan woman is courageous and motivated. Please support them. Please help them. Please stay by them. That is what I want to ask you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Hassan. Thank you for speaking up and also for showing the real situation unfiltered, the real situation now. When I listen to her speak, I get reminded that when someone has a vision, then there is a lot that we can achieve. So, an example for us. Thank you. So, our next speaker, she is a counseling psychiatrist, children's psychiatrist, art therapist, and also foster care provider, especially working with children and families in crisis situation, rehabilitation and adaptation. She is also a volunteer of the Creative Society project, which aims to solve climate issues, and she is an ambassador of the Women's Federation for World Peace and an ambassador for peace. I personally met her before this event today, and knowing that her path was not always easy, but every time I meet her, she has so much positivity and brightness that she shares with everyone. So I want to invite Eva Leschenko.
There is nothing in this world that comes into being for their own sake alone. All beings are created for one another. I exist for you, and you exist for me. Hello, dear friends. I am deeply grateful for everyone being present, for the opportunity to be with you and become part of your big international family. I would have never imagined that all those tragic events that made me live for Europe will give me the chance to speak you here today. My name is Eva. I am from Ukraine. My family and I have been living in Slovakia for a year and a half. In Ukraine, I work as a psychologist helping women and families. We hold children camps at our home, with 5 to 10 children living with us. At the same time, over 15 people in total, also adults who need support. As a psychologist, I help teachers at my son's schools, and I had my own day Fridays when the students and I work on creative project together. The children learn teamwork and how to communicate. It was the special way they seemed to find me, and I followed it. Foster care came into my life next. Foster care becomes necessary when a child biological families faces a crisis, threats to life, hunger, violence, or other dangerous conditions. In these cases, police working with special services remove the children and place them with a foster family. This is not taught in universities. To become a foster parent, you must undergo accurate selection process, special training offered by the Ministry of Social Policy Programs, and maintain constant interaction with custody services, social protection agencies, police, medical, and education institutions. Our foster children come from all kinds of families, from poor and hungry to financially well off. They lived with us and my children usually for 3 to 6 months. This experience became part of our lives. In my practice, I observed that when a child begins to feel safe and supported by caring adults, even they are not biological parents, just a few months are enough for them. They start recovering, showing interest in develop and desire to learn. Teachers noted that children who stayed with us in foster care begin performing better in school because they felt care and support, they felt needed and capable. There were also negative aspects. When children who return to their families experience regressions, they did not understand why their parents treated them worse than other adults. Among them, there were very difficult cases. Children who had suffered physical and sexual abuse, traumatized by terrible experience. For example, there was a boy who was 11 years old, and his father raped him and told him that they were planning a doctor, and said that this game was normal. So this was actually part of abuse. So the boys wanted to play this game with younger children, so it was painful for him. Such cases of special sexual abuse become more often, and I understood that the problem is in the whole system that influence different spheres of our life. Children need family, parents, because family is everything to them. But to create such a family based on human values requires massive collective work. So many factors need to be changed. When I studied UNICEF and UN statistics, one fact deeply moved me. Every 10 child in the world needed special support. These aren't just numbers. These are millions of boys and girls who have dreams, fears, desire, and a big potential. We couldn't help everyone, but we couldn't help at least one child. So we decided to adopt a girl and continue doing what I know to do, help and serve people. 5 minutes, that's all it took for her to know, this is my mom. No words needed, just a look and an open heart. 2 years, and scared, silent child became a smiling, trusting little girl. What is the secret? She finally felt needed and loved. It turns out becoming a parent doesn't require special skills. Just one thing, the willingness to love. Kids can feel it immediately. Love heals, develops, just the instant things. It transforms a special need child into a happy person. During 8 years of working as a psychologist and 50 years of motherhood, I have seen an important truth. Children are incredibly sensitive to what's happening inside as adults. Our behavior, emotion, and reaction strongly influence their feeling of the world and relationship with people. They read emotions, not via words, but via gestures, and look using mirror neurons. How parents and close adults treat them shape their basic understanding of our life and socialization in this world.
Imagine a moment when a new life is just beginning. A little person comes into this world like a clean white sheet, without words, without understanding, but with boundless potential. The first touch of reality is not sight. It's the feeling of air on the skin, the warmth of mother's hands, the tenderness of lips. A newborn barely opens its eyes, but already discovers the world through touch, sounds, and feelings. Every day is a new discovery for him. Imagine how inside this tiny being, an invisible database of life is gradually filling up. A child sees adults moving around and strives to repeat that movement long before knowing the word walk. He observes how people eat, reaches for food, and only later learns the names of products and dishes. But the most amazing thing happens invisibly to us. Children learn not just actions, but also emotions. They absorb like sponges all our reactions, all the ways we express our feelings. And even when we think that a child doesn't hear or understand our adult conversations or conflicts, everything is actually being recorded in their consciousness. These first 3 years of life form the foundation of a person's character, and every adult around a child is a teacher, even if they do not realize it. Every look, every intonation, every emotional reaction becomes a part of that invisible program that will control a person's behavior in the future. Remember, when a little person is near you, you're always on stage. And he's your most attentive spectator who is not just watching the performance but learning how to live. And so, imagine, these little eyes that see everything, these sensitive ears that hear everything, are forming their first experience of the world. And we adults often don't even think about what kind of example we're setting. Children see absolutely everything: how we react to stress, how we express joy, how we interact with others. Every significant adult, every person who catches a child's attention, becomes part of their inner world. And it's not just parents, it's grandparents, caregivers, random passers-by, cartoon characters. Amazing, isn't it? In those moments when we think we're sorting things out in private, that no one sees our emotional storms, a little person is absorbing these behavioral patterns. The program is laid down deep and solid, becoming the foundation for the future relationships, reactions, ways of coping with life's challenges. And herein lies both danger and opportunity. The danger of passing on to children what we ourselves would like to get rid of, but also the opportunity to consciously shape the world in which the next generation will live. When we understand that every action of ours is a lesson, every emotion is an example, we begin to relate differently to our behavior. We become not just parents or caregivers, we become the architects of a new personality who will inherit this world after us. That's why it's so important to remember, the white sheet of a child's life is being filled every day, every hour, every minute. And what will be written on it depends on us.
Children are our long-term project. What we invest in them today, our life, attention, time, will definitely return tomorrow. Every gesture, word, hug, or simply present becomes part of their inner world on their future. And we adults can help these children develop. We as a super point, their example, their sense of security. Even if just one person near is ready to listen, understand, and support, that can change everything. It's important that everyone adults realizes we can do more than we think. We can be those who don't just care, but create conditions where children feel needed, loved, important. Each of us is reflect of other. We are parts of one big picture of the world. We depend on each other, influence, inspire, or wound. We are thoughts, emotions, actions. We are all woven together by things, invisible threads. And if we begin to act consciously and together, these children and ourselves, we have a real future. Children feel love, they are grown for it. And if we are nearby, if we walk with them, they will definitely cope with everything. And that means will we do this too. We have the power to make this world kinder, step by step, action by action. Thank you very much for your attention.
It was not easy, but thank you so much for your message. It is very important. I remember one quote from the founder from Women's Federation for World Peace says that family is the school of love. Our topic for this session is quality education at school, but thinking about this, also our family is a school where we first learn everything in life. So yeah, there's thinking about it, we can really create meaningful circumstances. We can teach our children a lot already. in the family. So our next speaker is Tatiana Zincenkova. She has a PhD in psychotherapy. She is also a researcher specializing in behavioral addiction and criminal psychiatry, psychology. She's the president of the International Association for the Study of Game Addiction in Switzerland and the UK, and also director and co-founder of the International Professional Alliance Climate Crisis and Mental Health in the UK. Please welcome Tatiana Zincenkova.
Greetings, dear colleagues, my new and old friends. I'm really appreciated this opportunity being part of this amazing event. I'm feeling myself like a member of a huge family, and thank you to everyone to create this very friendly and kind environment and atmosphere. My presentation today about impact of harmful content in the media, social network, and online video games on aggressive and self-destructive behavior among adolescents and young adult person. I'm not against game or social media. Yes, I have more than 8 messengers in my smartphone. I think this is a very good tool and useful tool for education, for self-development, for communication, to meet new friends, exchange ideas, and find some partners to your project. Even I was a little bit addicted some years ago from messengers. I couldn't. I feel anxious when I couldn't use my smartphone during more than 15 minutes. So I'm normal, yeah. But I will talk about today about about really dangerous, something really dangerous. And the next slide, yeah. Over the past 2 decades, the world has witnessed a dramatic deterioration in the mental health of adolescents and young adults. There has been a steady rise in anxiety, depression, self-harm, suicidal behavior, and aggression among this age group. This alarming trend is closely, I show you, this is part of research, big research, statistical research. It's a small part, but around the world you can observe the same trend. It's dramatical jump, all of this behavior, mental health problem. The same trend, and everything among teenagers and young adult person. 18, from 11 to 19 to 21, so it's really alarming. Yeah? This alarming trend is closely linked to their increasing engagement with social media and online video games. Numerous studies confirm the correlation between mental health issue and problematic or addictive use of digital platform. A large cross-national study of over 11,000 students from 11 European countries showed that adolescents with problematic social media use were 3 times more likely to experience anxiety, depression, self-harm, or aggression. Among addicted users, this risk were 5 to 6 times higher, and suicidal behavior was 10 times more frequent. Now, Now exist more than 5 billion users, social media users around the world. Active gamers numbered 3.42 billion, with teenagers and young adults being the most involved. For the age group 11 to 19, half online almost constantly, and the rest connects several times daily. And this graph, you can see this trend. How raised it. Participant in online platforms and gamers year by year. Research shows isn't screen time or smartphone use alone that drives mental health deterioration. The key risk factors are the informational impact of harmful content, manipulative technology, and dangerous interaction that are widespread in social media and online games. And on this slide, you can see several harmful factors that adolescents often encounter online. Cyberbullying, sexual harassment, discrimination, and sharing the sensitive material, phishing attempts, disinformation, misinformation, sale of or distribution drugs and alcohol, harmful or dangerous content that negatively affect body image. This can lead to so dangerous condition like anorexia and bulimia. A systematic review found that 15 to 58% of teenagers have experienced cyberbullying, which is even more dangerous than traditional bullying, as it increases the risk of suicidal thoughts by a third. The prevalence of non-suicidal self-injury among young adult, among teenagers range from 14 to 21%, and those who self-harm are 30 times more likely to attempt suicide. This is about cyberbullying, this is about self-harm. What I talk about. Destructive content, this like example is what we can find in our social media platform. Destructive content not only normalizes but also glorifies self-harm, presenting it as an effective coping strategy. One study showed that 32.5% of teens who saw self-harm images on Instagram repeated similar behaviors. The more graphic the content, the more attention and positive feedback it received, likes, admiration, and even encouragement to escalate the harm. In many cases, this dynamic turned into a horrifying competition who can show deeper wounds or dark emotions. The momentary assessment study showed that in the hours after a teen viewed self-harm content on social media, their risk of self-injury thoughts and actions spiked significantly. Some even engage in self-harm very soon after viewing content, suggesting a near immediate triggering effect. Some of the most dangerous content is not even fully visible. In a recent qualitative content analysis, research discovered subliminal suicidal content in 21% of popular videos, frames lasting under 300 milliseconds, showing method of suicide. In 2% of video, only subliminal content was used, meaning users didn't consciously register it, but their brain did. These messages can bypass rational thinking and trigger automatic reaction, particularly in emotionally unstable users. this is not accidental. Some of this content is designed deliberately, exploiting algorithm and the psychology of influence to manipulate behavior. Some online communities actively encourage and promote self-harm or suicidal behavior. Such content is often masked behind ambiguous hashtag to bypass censorship. Like this, cat, yes, cat is similar, yeah. And my secret family, with mistake, write these words and can to receive this content in social media. Social media and video games are even more dangerous The impact of escalating aggressive self-harming and suicidal behavior is in a vulnerable audience due to exposure to destructive content and interaction in social media and video games is confirmed by numerous studies. Moreover, this impact is explained in detail by several series of social behavior. I present this on the slide. Social comparison theory, social cognitive theory developed by Albert Bandura. Do you know about doll? Some research used this doll among small kids, from 3 to 5 years old, and then these kids repeated the same behavior with their tools, their toys, and between each other. Yeah. Boba doll, experiment with Boba doll, it's very famous. And social identity theory. Social media and video games are even more dangerous in this regard because beyond passive observational learning, this is passive observational learning when we just watch something, or destructive models like films, new coverage, they create conditions for interactive media violence, interactive learning of these patterns. Research shows this more often leads to obsessive, aggressive thought, reduced empathy and sensitivity to violence, irritability, anger, and aggressive or self-aggressive behavior. Teenagers are neurologically and psychologically more vulnerable, especially when immersed in video games or scrolling social media feeds. These activities create altered state of consciousness, distorted perception of time and space, detachment from reality, diminished critical thinking, shifting identity. The teen starts to see themselves as their online person or game avatar. Functional MRI study confirmed that when talking about their virtual self, addicted users show more brain activity than when talking about the real life. The brain treats the virtual world as real and identifies more with the avatar than with the physical self. In other words, the boundaries between real and virtual become blurred, and so do moral boundaries. This is a picture about what happened in gamer brain when we observe this shift from normal identification to avatar self-identification. Yes. On the next one, this it's about about social media users. All of these studies demonstrate that players change both their self-perception and their perception of reality. It is due to the effect of altered state that the game is a serious tool for influencing and changing people's system of values and worldview. Games, especially first-person shooters, like on this slide, and combat simulation, often promote values such as violence as a solution, dehumanization of the enemy, cunning, domination, and manipulation, disregard for human life and empathy. It's no a coincidence that some of these games are used for military recruitment or combat training. Augmented reality system like this helps him are even being developed to allow soldiers to act in the real world as if it were just a game. This raises profound ethical questions. Why even 5-year-olds playing games that train people to kill? Why are games like Far Cry 5 promoting religious discrimination and mass violence? Why all of these things now exist? The impact of media contagion is well documented. When the media gives extensive attention to school shooters or teen suicides, similar incidents rise in the following days and weeks. Now imagine the scale of that effect in interactive, algorithmically reinforced environment where content is tailored and repeated until it becomes internalized. Social media and games don't just show you what to do, they let you practice it, simulate it, repeat it, and absorb it into your identity. This is about our survey. Our survey of adolescents aged 11 to 19 revealed that 71.2% of participants encountered destructive content on social media without intentionally seeking it. Alarmingly, 22% of surveyed teenagers reported that after such exposure, they considered engaging in risky behavior, harming themselves or others, or even suicide. That's what I talk about. And prevention, yes, what we have to do with it. On this slide you can see it's about stringent regulation, develop technical solution, implemented large-scale media education for teenagers, parents, teachers, and educate teenagers about their vulnerability during times of stress and negative emotions, promote positive role models and constructive time environment. And psychological support, we can give psychological assistance, should focus on self-development, value of life and purpose, emotional regulation and impulse control, building self-confidence and communication skill, harmonizing family and school relationships, healthy body image and self-care, goal setting and self-organization. In conclusion, we need systematic measures to ensure that digital environments are safe for young people. The future of our teenagers, of our kids, new generation, next generation, and of society depends on how we manage this growing crisis. This is not just a matter of digital policy. It is a matter of public health, of child protection, and of the kind of society we want to build. The content we allow our children to consume today will shape the adult they become tomorrow. If we want to live in a peaceful, creative, and humane society, we cannot allow content that promote violence, self-destruction, and hatred to go unchecked. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Mrs. Zincenkova. If you're interested in media and the topic, now we heard a lot of negative, when we don't use media the right way, how it can affect us negatively. Later on, we will have discussion groups where we also will address, again, media. There you can share and talk and be interactive about positive and negative sides. Now we would like to invite all three of them to the front for their presentation.
Okay, so good afternoon. We're very honored to be here today. And as you've already heard, today we are going to have a presentation about clean water and sanitation. So for a quick recap, as our schoolmates have already mentioned, SDGs are 17 Sustainable Development Goals, and 5 of them are focused on environment. which are the sixth one, which is focused on clean water and sanitation. That's ours. Number 7, focus on affordable and clean energy. Number 13, focus on climate action. Number 14, focus on life below water. And number 15, which is focused on life on land.
So, what is the sixth goal about? Its main purpose is basically to ensure availability and sustainability management of water and situation for everyone. So on the left part of the slide, we can see the report from 2023. In this report, it's basically said that we are not capable of achieving this goal until 2030. And this is mainly because 2.4 billion of people live in water-stressed countries, which basically means that, that they don't have enough drinking water to live from. And on the right part of the slide, you can see all of the targets. And we chose target 6.1 and target 6.3 because we can talk about them from our own experience.
So, target 6.1 is focused on achieving universal and equitable access to safe and affordable drinking water for all. And, okay. Indicator is proportion of population using safely managed water drinking water services, and about 73% of world population uses safely managed drinking water services. So, as you can see, the dark blue ones are, I don't know if this shines, it doesn't. Yes, so the dark blue ones have the best results. We can see them in North America, in Western Europe, also in North Europe, some countries of Middle East, and in Japan. Then a little bit worse results. There are like 75 to 90% of population that has that uses safely managed drinking water service are on the Northern Asia or in Brazil. Then even worse results are colored with yellow color, and we can see them mostly in South America, North Africa, and in some Asian countries. And the worst results are orange colored, and we can see them in Central America, some Asian countries, and mostly Africa.
So, target 6.3 is mainly about improving water quality, reducing pollution, eliminating dumping, minimizing release of hazardous chemicals and minerals, and substantially increasing recycling and safe reuse globally. So the main indicators or data helping to measure targets are for target 6.3, proportion of wastewater flow safely treated. In the year 2022, only 58% of the world's wastewater flow was safely treated, which is pretty bad. And as we can see, the worst status had the red countries, which is almost all of the world, unfortunately, and the best results had USA, Europe, Australia, and also Northern Africa and Middle East. And the second indicator for target 6.3 is proportion of bodies of water with good ambient water quality. Ambient basically means surrounded water. And in the year 2023, only 56% of the water bodies with good ambient water had good quality. The best status had the blue countries, which as we can see is Canada, Russia, Australia, and some countries in Africa. And the worst status had the red and orange ones, which are UK, India, and also some other countries in Europe.
We have found out more about the situation in Slovakia when we visited WFWP, which is a water research institute in Bratislava, and we found out that our water is extracted from underground, and that the tests on quality are made every day in Bratislava, and that we put the smallest amount of chlorine possible because it's not needed to put a lot. And our wastewater goes to sewage plant and then to our lakes and rivers. And it's impossible to dispose of medicine and other drugs, so we can find antibiotics, hormonal medicines, fentanyl, and other drugs. But it's in a very small concentration. And we can also get rid of these, but the gadgets for it cost a lot of money, so we don't use it. Here's us at the Water Institute in Bratislava, and here is a map. We can see that here is Slovakia, and it's mostly safe. The tap water is mostly safe, but there are some countries like Ukraine, Moldova, Belarus, and Albania, which water is very unsafe and it is not recommended to drink. And the orange ones are safe water in some places.
So how can we help? The least we can do is raise awareness, of course, by talking. That's what we are doing right now. Then stop wasting water. Basically, we can reduce our time in shower, or we can collect rainwater. Then stop polluting water. This is obvious one. Then avoid disturbing natural habitats, because they are also natural parts of the nature. And then also help clean polluted water. So this is very important. Yeah.
So the Gems of Water is a citizen engagement project of water quality monitoring, and some of us took part in this project. And what we basically did was that we went to some spots where the Danube River runs, and we collected 6 samples. Then we took it to our school lab, extracted them, and sent them to Italy, to laboratory, for the results. But we still don't have them. They will be ready in October. Here is us while we were sampling, and here's us in school lab while we were extracting the samples. And ECPDR is the International Commission for the Protection of the Danube River, works to ensure sustainable and equitable use of waters in Danube River Basin. And some of us also, as you can see, went to United Nations in Vienna, where they explained to us more about this project, and also showed us the scientific report that is done every 6 years. And it is like a biological and chemical explanation of what is in the Danube River. And this one is very complicating for us normal people to understand, and it's very long. It's like 600 pages. It's very large, and that's why they also make one for the public, which we have here, which we brought for you to see. And here are like many informations that us normal people can understand. And for example, there is one information about the caffeine in the rivers, because there is also some caffeine, and but it's in a small amount, and an average person would have to drink like 50,000 cups of Danube water to consume the same amount of like that is in 1 cup of cappuccino. So, yeah. Here are our sources, and we thank you for your attention.
And we would also like to thank our Miss Teacher, Miss Magnusson, for bringing us here and for doing all this work for us and for this opportunity to be here. So thank you very much.
Our next speaker will be talking about ocean pollution to continue on this topic. Our next speaker is Barbara Metzlikova. She is a former university lecturer with a specialization in Japanese writing system and contemporary culture. She is also an enthusiastic participant in the Creative Society project, and she's actively engaged in discussions on Alatra IPM platform. Please welcome her on stage.
Well, good evening, everybody. I'm very grateful to have the opportunity to talk to you today. I would like to talk to you about ocean, about the plastic pollution. So when we think of ocean plastic, our minds usually come up with images of swirling vast islands of waste, the great garbage patches, like the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, which is in the Pacific Ocean, which accidentally or, well, unfortunately, isn't the only one in our oceans today. There are initiatives like the Ocean Cleanup who bravely tackle this visible problem. They are deploying massive systems to collect the visible debris from the ocean. It's a notable effort, but let's talk about numbers. After several years, they managed to remove 20,000 tons of plastic waste from the ocean. Sounds like a lot, right? But against the backdrop of an estimated 200 million tons that are already polluting our oceans and another 11 million tons that are entering every year, those 20,000 tons are just 0.01%. So it's like we are trying to empty a bathtub with a teaspoon while the tap is still open and running, right? And this visible problem is just the tip of the iceberg. Here's where the problem really becomes invisible. The plastic bottle, the fishing net, they don't just vanish in the ocean. Sun, waves, and the temperature changes break them down into microplastics first. They are so tiny you can barely see them, but it doesn't stop here. They break them down further into nanoplastics. They are so small that they are tinier than even a virus. And this happens constantly. What is worse or worsening this problem is that our oceans are getting warmer and this problem grows even faster. The invisible particles don't stay still. Ocean currents spread them worldwide, even to remote places like the Arctic, where pollution in the ice is surprisingly high. And while we often focus on the surface, most plastics actually sink to the deep sea floor, where uncountable trillions can be found. Also in the Mariana Trench was found plastic. They also gather in mid-ocean layers, and once in the ocean, they are eaten by the plankton and they are becoming integrated throughout our entire ecosystem. So this is where the unseen becomes really profound. But first, let us remind us why the ocean is so vital for us.
Functions of the ocean. The ocean is a vast world that captivates our imagination and scientific curiosity. Its ecosystems, like intricate clockwork mechanisms, maintain the delicate balance necessary to sustain life on Earth. The ocean functions as the planet's natural air conditioner. It absorbs heat and gradually releases it. Remarkably, just a 10-meter layer of ocean water can store more heat than the entire atmosphere. The ocean's heat capacity is a unique ability that moderates temperature fluctuations between day and night, as well as between seasons, such as summer and winter. Ocean currents circulate around the planet, transferring heat and nutrients from equatorial regions to the poles and vice versa. This process mitigates temperature extremes. Ocean temperatures influence the life cycles of animals and plants, both in the ocean and on land. The ocean actively affects atmospheric processes, contributing to cloud formation and precipitation. Every day, vast amounts of water evaporate from its surface, condense into clouds, and return to land as rain or snow. This process is crucial for replenishing rivers, lakes, and soil with fresh water. Microscopic algae, such as phytoplankton, produce about 50% of the oxygen humanity breathes. Every second breath we take is a gift from the ocean. The ocean is also home to millions of species of living organisms, from tiny microbes to majestic whales. It harbors species that have existed for hundreds of millions of years. The ocean is where life began, and the future of our planet depends on it.
So water's unique ability to store, absorb, and release heat comes from hydrogen bonds between water molecules. And the question arises, what happens if these bonds are disrupted? And this is where the nanoplastic comes in. These tiny charged particles change water's physical properties. They make water less able to efficiently absorb and release heat. They also lower heat conductivity of the ocean. Think about it. Water's fundamental design to the ability to regulate our planet's climate is being subtly yet profoundly disrupted by these invisible particles. Let us look at the consequences. Our oceans are warming at an unprecedented rate. The data show that the heat content in the upper 2,000 meters of the ocean has accelerated twofold since 1986. Years 2023 and 2024 have seen continuous record-breaking sea surface temperatures. And it's not just the surface. Even the middle depths of the oceans are heating. They have warmed 15 times faster in the last 60 years than in the previous 10,000 years in the Pacific Ocean. A direct consequence is rising sea levels. They are now increasing 2.5 times faster than before. And also it affects marine life directly. Corals are bleaching, there are diseases, there are dead zones where there are low oxygen levels. They have doubled every decade since 1960s. Also, one of the consequences is the disruption of the delicate food chains from phytoplankton upwards. So, if you might still think that, well, ocean pollution, that's really far away, then now I will tell you where the problem really hits home. These tiny plastic bits, they don't stay in the sea. They travel. Through evaporation and sea spray, micro and nanoplastics from our ocean float up into the air. Scientists have found them in the cloud water samples. And what do they do up there? They act like condensation nuclei. Many tiny seeds, they are like tiny seeds for water droplets to form around them. And what this causes, it helps create clouds. This can change how clouds are formed, how rain or snow falls. And it can lead to stronger storms, unusually large hailstones that we already see today, and unpredictable weather. So imagine the air you breathe, the rain that falls, the weather, all potentially affected with particles that are in the ocean, no matter how far you are from the coast. So facing this challenge, the question arises, what can we actually do? Well, for the big pieces of plastic in the ocean, we've seen huge cleanup efforts, but in fact they are like trying to empty the ocean with a teacup. The problem is just too vast. And for the invisible particles like micro and nanoplastic, things get even trickier. Scientists are trying various approaches, like using special bacteria to break them down. That's fascinating, but right now it's just too slow to tackle, to make a global difference. Plus, there are questions about artificial bacteria, what are they causing to our environment. Even everyday actions have hidden consequences and problems. If you boil a tap water to get rid of microplastics, you unconsciously might actually turn it into an even bigger problem, because what you are actually creating are nanoplastics that become airborne, and you might breathing them in, which causes a health risk. So if you then imagine some industrial processes like turning plastic into fuel, they also unfortunately release these ultrafine toxic nanoplastics and harmful chemicals right into the atmosphere. All these efforts, while they are very well intentioned, often create new issues or simply aren't big enough to tackle the problem we face. So the question arises, what can we actually do? Maybe instead of fighting the nature, we should start looking for the ways how we work with it. Harnessing nature's own processes might be a powerful solution. We are talking about natural microbial bioremediation. And what this actually is. It's a process where you take already treated wastewater, which usually still contains plastic fragments, and instead of sending it back into rivers or oceans, you redirect it into the soil. What it makes, it's cleaning itself, because the soil already has microorganisms. There are tiny helpful bacteria and fungi who are actually Earth's own cleanup crew. They have the natural ability to break down complex materials, including plastics. And by supporting these natural allies, we achieve multiple goals. We not only clean the water, but we also boost soil health, revitalize ecosystem, and allow naturally purified water to return to the deep layers of the earth, eventually coming back to our oceans. What we need to understand, though, is that there is always only a limited window of opportunity to act. Let me explain to you what I mean by it. It may be a sobering lesson. Maybe you've heard about atmospheric water generators. It's a technology that can create clean water, I repeat, clean water from air, anywhere on the planet, even in the desert, in the needed quantity. Believe it or not, Alatra scientists suggested this over 20 years ago as a way to clean our oceans. Back then, our air had almost no nanoplastics, so the idea seemed really promising. But things have changed drastically, and today, airborne nanoplastics are everywhere. So using this kind of technology may pose a risk today for our health. These generators are no longer a technology of the future. It is a reminder of a missed opportunity. And this teaches us a vital lesson. There is always a limited time to act. The plastic pollution it's a fundamental challenge that we face. It's a challenge to our climate, our water, our very stability of our world. But understanding this challenge through education, as we have today, is actually the first step forward. Thank you very much for your attention. If you are interested in more information, please watch the video we saw a fragment from, and also a report on the nanoplastics in the biosphere. Thank you very much.
Thank you for all the facts. I believe that awareness about the problem is already the first step for improvement. So thank you for giving us so many facts, and also not only that, also providing solution already. So this is very practical and very helpful. Thank you. We would like to continue with our last speaker today for this session. We will hear about age of plastics, micro and nanoplastics, consequences for people. Our speaker will be Robert Mikita. He is a CEO and General Manager at Sky4U, and he's an expert in the travel industry. He also is a CWT country director, and just like Meslikova, he is also a participant of the Creative Society project and participant of the discussion on the Alatra IPM platform. Please welcome him.
Thank you, Julia. Good evening, everybody. It's an honor to be here, and thank you for letting me spoil your evening. Well, Barbara already told you about nanoplastics, about microplastics, how it gets into the air, how it gets into our water. So microplastics are particles that are actually visible with our eye. Nanoplastics we don't see, and not even some microscopes are able to detect them. How does this work? Shoot. Let's watch the video first.
Allow me to also remind you that the Alatra scientific team is currently engaged not only in addressing geodynamic and climate-related threats, including the problem of the Siberian magma plume, but is also dedicating focused attention to a second critical and deadly threat, nanoplastics. We are conducting deep, comprehensive research into their properties and actively working to identify effective methods for neutralizing their destructive impact on the biosphere and human health. While the plume is a threat to the future, nanoplastic is a threat to the present, one that has already infiltrated the entire biosphere and all of humanity, including each of you. It is a true pandemic, the full scale of which remains largely unknown and which, for now, is still absent from major international platforms, despite the fact that nanoplastic has already become the #1 killer. Nanoplastic penetrates everywhere, into brain cells, neurons, blood, organs, the placenta, and even embryos. It is already inside children still in the womb. These are facts documented in dozens of scientific studies, many of which emerge in part thanks to the momentum created by our research and warnings. Just look at these images. They show the brain of a bee, with illuminated areas highlighting the presence of nanoplastic. It is killing the bee from within, inducing a form of dementia, causing it to forget where its hive is, what its role is, and where or why it was even flying. Now tell me, have you noticed similar symptoms in yourself? Forgetting why you walked into a room, mixing up words, struggling to recall someone's name, sudden unexplained headaches. These may seem like minor lapses, but the increasing frequency of such symptoms is a warning sign. Nanoplastic in your brain tissue is already impairing your cognitive abilities. And by the way, in your brain, it looks exactly like it does in the bee's brain in that image, bringing with it the same destructive consequences. Are you surprised by the sharp rise in reproductive disorders among humans? By the increase in fetal mutations? The root cause behind all of this is the same. The reproductive function of Homo sapiens is rapidly degrading, driven directly by the influence of nanoplastics. Children born today face a high likelihood of being unable to have offspring in the future. And even if they can, the health of that next generation will be seriously jeopardized.
Good future, right? So we already talked about microplastics and nanoplastics. How do they get into our body? Did you drink water today? Did you have lunch? Do you breathe? Since they are everywhere, we get them to our bodies. Do you know what this is? It's a credit card, right? It weighs about 9 grams. That is how much you consume of nanoplastic every week. Every week. Imagine how much you get into your body already. It's about 10 lifetimes. So it gets through your skin, it gets by drinking water, eating food. So what are we going to do with it? It was detected in lungs, liver, kidney, almost everywhere in our body. We've been talking, we have a solution about cleaning our planet, but we have no solution about cleaning our bodies. Not yet. It doesn't exist at the moment. Mechanisms of harm. So if we look at the microplastics, or actually a plastic, which is size of a 1 meter, it has a physical damage to living organisms. But the more we move to the smaller and smaller particles, like nanoplastic, it has a chemical effects and chemical damage in our bodies. This is one of the most important things, and it's not about the plastic that disguises itself and gets into our bodies. Our cells does not fight it because they think it's something natural. They even actually use nanoplastics as a building structures in our bones, in our organs, etc. But that's not the most deadliest part. In our breakout session, we did an experiment showing how nanoplastic can absorb and keep static electric charge for much longer period than is necessary. And it doesn't matter whether it was a straw or it's a nanoparticle of a plastic. Now imagine you have that in your body and it has a static electric charge. How does our body communicate? It doesn't talk. It sends electric signals. Neurons, molecules, cells, that's how they communicate. And if you have nanoplastics intervening in that communication, it disrupts it. When it disrupts it, your organs stop functioning properly. How does nanoplastic get charged in our body? Well, a little biology. We have something called like mitochondria. Those are small power plants that generates energy in cells, and as a side product, it generates a static electricity. In normal way, it would dispose from our bodies through our skin, etc. But having those intruders called nanoplastics, they keep it there and prolonging it. And that's how they disrupt things in our bodies, and that's why we have so many symptoms that we think that it's by age or something else. No. As you were able to see in that video when there was shown a brain of a bee, that's exactly how our brain looks like. So we already said that they basically disguise like Trojan horse, and our body keeps them, don't fight them. And they create all these problems. Bisphenol A, phthalates, present in everywhere. I read a study that was conducted in the United States about phthalates. People think, and well, it's well known that cancer is considered how to say it nicely. Well, okay, it wasn't that much spread in the past as it is right now. We start using all kinds of products that contain either bisphenol A or phthalates or whatever plastic or chemicals that are available. They act like accelerators. Once they're inside our bodies, those processes and let's say germs or bacteria or whatever that we just absorb with food or water, they would normally go through our body without noticing it. But we have accelerators in there. So they actually born inside our bodies, and that's how they stay there. Again, disrupting our organs, causing problems that past generation never knew about it. That's why they call cancer a generative disease, because we are the generation that started to use products that actually are killing ourselves. Do you like to walk in the forest? Or do you like spending your holiday at the seaside? Those are the two areas that are most saturated with nanoplastics. And the most direct way how the nanoplastic gets into your body is by inhaling it. If you get it by food or water, there is a probability that some of it will get out of you, natural way. When you inhale it, it goes directly to your brain. So, sadly, or it looks like that walk in the polluted city will become much healthier than walk along the seaside or in the forest. Not a very bright future or something that we would like. Plants absorb nanoplastic via their roots. Bees that are pollinators carry them from flower to flower. They go to their hive, and actually agricultural soils has 23 times more microplastic than oceans. So what can we do? Well, first would be raise public awareness of this problem. Second would be that we need to find a way how to get nanoplastic in our bodies, how to get rid of the electric charge, because that's the one that is killing us, that's the one that is killing our bodies. then we can start finding the way how to remove them from our bodies, because now we don't know that. And then we can start purifying our environment, etc. Because if we do that now, we would do more harm to ourselves. And what good it would be if we would clean our nature if we would be dead. Thank you.
Thank you very much for this amazing presentation.